And what I really coach on is listings and listings mastery. But just so I know where you guys are at, because I know a little bit, but like, are you guys all newer agents, emerging agents? Just throw out something, tell me where you guys are at. Are we brand new? Are we trying to get better? Just give me the vibe. Like, how long have you been in the business?
Just getting started.
Getting started? Nice. How about you guys? Brand new? Is everybody brand new? Okay, cool. So this is gonna be super helpful. So I have a short amount of time, but what I'm gonna start with is to show you guys, I think, something really cool. We're gonna start with the 8 things that the top performers in your field do. Like, think of the best of the best. Whether you love them or hate them, like the Tom Brady's of real estate, I'm gonna start with showing you what they do. So this will give you guys kind of roadmap on where you wanna go. Would that be helpful? Yeah? Okay, cool. And then as we go through it, I'm gonna give you some tactics on how to build your business. I'm gonna show you how I have built my business, because there's a lot of different ways. Like Don said at the beginning, there's a lot of different ways to build a business. And one of the things that I do a lot is I coach, I mentor, and I get newer agents into production fast. What I've given you guys are a couple of things to take home. You have some of my guides on working with buyers, like step by step, and a couple of other things I've shown you also. Our agent launch plan. So these are some of the things that I use, so you guys are free to use them, and hopefully it gives you a guide on how to get started, okay? So, all right. So what does it take to be the best? Because do you want to be the best?
Yep.
Yeah, all right, you want to be the best? You want to know what the best does? That's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to show you what the upper echelon, we're not talking like I'm a top agent on social media. We're talking like these people are selling a lot of houses. In 2022, I was ranked the 26th realtor in all of Phoenix production. We're talking like the top producing, real deal, not fake it till you make it. Like, these people are selling a lot of homes. So this is what they do. And there's a reason I'm showing you this today. Because you're brand new, I want you guys to get an idea of how you can get there in a way that makes sense over the next year, 2, 3 years. I've had a lot of my newer agents within the first, I have most of my agents on my team. They're only a year and a half in, and they're doing 3 to 5 deals a month, which is much more than the average agent. So these are the things. So where this came from is actually a friend of mine, a guy I know, did a study. So he flew around the country and he studied all of the top team leaders in the career that you guys are trying to get in. These are the big dogs in the world, right? The big dogs in real estate. And he did an actual research project on like, how did these people get to be where they're at? And did they all have anything in common? And these are the things that all of the best, this isn't just Arizona, this is like around the whole country, okay? So the first thing is they had a predictable environment. Are any of you guys licensed yet? Or are we getting there? We all licensed? Okay, have you felt like it's a little bit shaky so far? Laugh, right? Right, it's a little bit shaky. So the best of the best have a predictable environment. So what that means is the people who are you competing against, every day is predictable. That means they live and die by their schedule. They're in a routine. Like if you've ever been any sort of athletics or training, all the environments are predictable. It's really easy, I'm sure Don will agree with me on this, in real estate, to feel all over the place, especially when you're new. You're like, do I cold call? Do I hold open houses? Do I go knock on these FSBOs? I don't know what I do with my day. Like, where's the structure, right? Has anybody ever felt that before? I have. So I'm gonna give you guys structure today so you don't have that shaky feeling. So the idea is you wanna have a predictable environment. That means that every day during your week, you know what you're working on. And it's not just your schedule, but the environment you're in. Like, who is around you. It should be very predictable. Number 2, they keep score. Does anybody track anything they're doing right now? Like, have you been in the, you do? Okay, awesome. Anybody else tracking? Okay, cool. So tracking is something realtors hate. I don't know why, realtors hate it. I'm sure most of my title friends like Don and everybody will tell us, like, realtors hate tracking their stuff. So what, the best of the best in your guys' field, they're keeping score. So what do you do for business right there in the back? Haven't licensed yet?
Yeah, I just passed the test yesterday, so.
Okay, cool. This is good. Congratulations. Are you licensed yet? How long?
For about 4 or 5 months.
Okay, cool. Do you have any idea, like if I was like, hey, can you show me what you've done the last 4 or 5 months? Could you show me?
I haven't done anything.
Oh shit, I haven't done anything. Change that. Who's done something over the last few months? Has anybody done anything? No? You guys are just like waiting for deals?
Just getting the license over the last weekend.
Okay, cool. Great. No, this is good. I want to know where you're at. So this is great. We're going to have no bad habits. This is perfect. What's your name? Cora, this is perfect for you, okay? Realtors hate keeping score. You know why? They don't have like FOMO, they have FOFO. It's fear of finding out like how bad they are with their schedule. Everyone's like, FOMO. No, what realtors have, am I wrong? It's FOFO. They don't want to know. They don't want to know. They don't want to open their bill. So I'm saying like this is like really important stuff. I wish somebody would have taught me, because I've done over 1,000 transactions. I've done a lot of stuff, and I've wasted a lot of years where at the end of the year, if you ask me like, how many calls did you make last month? I'm like, I don't know. I sold 6 homes, but I have no idea. Where do those deals come from? I think like Zillow, I think one was Facebook. I have no idea, just no idea. Just winging it on pure charisma and skill, but that can only get you so far. Like if you're a really good salesperson, charisma and personality and people skills, it can only get you so far. It can't get you the rest of the way. So the best of the best keep score. So what I mean is they're tracking the things that they're doing. Let me keep this going. So as you're getting into the business and you're doing money-making activities, you want to track what you're doing so that way you can figure out what works for your business. Don thing is down. So like, can I pick on you again? Corey. So when you get into the business, you want to start to track like, what did I do this week? I did 4 open houses. I posted 5 videos on Instagram. I sent out 50 mailers. I sent out 15 DMs on Facebook. Like if you track everything that you're doing, then you can measure it, and then you can figure out what works and then what doesn't work, right? So that's the biggest thing. I have my notes in here so I can pull up the other ones here. It's all good. Our screen died. It's all good. I got this open on my phone too. So let me pull it up here.
But tracking's like measuring, like if you want to, say like you want to lose weight or gain muscle, if you don't know where you start, how do you know where you're going?
That's exactly what I was telling you. Like when he said keep score, that's what I keep score.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And the third one is they actively plan and manage their time. So Don, we're talking about keeping score.
Yes.
Realtors love tracking their business, huh?
That's not true.
That's not true.
And what's funny is though they do love tracking the amount of money they spend, but they don't always know the return that they're getting on the money that they spend.
No.
And so they're like, oh my gosh, this cost me so much, I'm cutting it. You're making 4 extra money on it, then is it really something you should be cutting? And so that's why it's so important to have these kind of statistics available.
Yeah, and this is, so this was actually, I don't know if you were, this was a research like project done, the top team leaders, we found that this is what they had in common. So the third one is they actively plan and manage their time. This is super important. So how would you do that? Well, every day when you're going about your business, you want to actively plan and manage your time. So when you get into your first transaction, oh my gosh, this is exciting. It's so cool. You're going to waste so much time on things that don't matter, right? This is really, really good advice. I'm telling you, like, remember this. You need to actively plan and manage your time. When you get into a transaction and you go through step by step, there's going to be something called, for example, a home inspection, right? You guys all kind of know about that yet? And let's say you're representing the buyer and they do their home inspection and you get the home inspection report and oh my gosh, there's a bunch of repairs. Newer agents will spend like 3 days trying to get through a home inspection and looking at an inspection report when it should take 30 minutes, okay? So the best of the best in your industry, they really actively plan and manage their time throughout the day, right? Number 4, they leverage personal and work time really, really well. So I think this is a really good piece of advice that nobody ever taught me. Do you guys want to have to be on the phone at like 10 o'clock at night? What about during like Thanksgiving and Christmas or your dad's birthday or mom's birthday? Does that sound fun? Do realtors do that, Don? Right? Holidays? Like, do you guys, like, this is serious, like, this is a really, really good piece of advice. You need to leverage personal work time, so you need to set expectations with your clients. When I was younger, and I was in the business, I thought I needed to be like, I'm available 24/7. Oh my gosh, I will answer all of your phone calls any day, any night. Oh my gosh, I'm always here for you. I'm not CVS, Walmart. I'm AJ's Fine Foods. I'm serious, right? I'm not Walmart 24/7. That's not the service I provide. If you want Walmart 24/7, you're looking at a different product. I'm AJ's Fine Foods. I'm a refined professional. Like, you guys have a doctor, CPA, financial planner. You can't just blow up their phone at 9 o'clock at night. Yet realtors let clients do that to them all the time. Trust me, it happens all the time. Just wait till you get your first client who starts texting you and calling you at 9 o'clock at night. So how do you leverage that? Well, you set expectations, right? So when you get your first client, you set expectations. So what was your name?
Patrick.
So say, hey Patrick, here's what it looks and feels to work with me and my team. I'm available Monday through Saturday from about 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. On Sundays, I'm off, I'm at church. You can text me if there's an emergency. I'll try and check my phone in the afternoon, but those are my working hours. I typically communicate by phone, text, and email. Does that work for you? And they're always like, yeah. So you set expectations. I think this will save you guys a lot of like things that I went through. I've done this. I've been at like Thanksgiving and my family's like, dude, why are you on the phone? It's Thanksgiving. Oh my gosh, this buyer wants the inspection report ready. I've had agents on my team say that like somebody was blowing them up on Christmas. It's like, dude, set expectations. And I hope this really helps you guys because it's not just about making money, it's about enjoying your life too. Does that make any sense? So set expectations, but then after you do it, don't break your rules. So if you set your time, right? Like if you're like, hey, I'm done after 8 p.m. and it's Friday at 8:30, and you're like, oh, it's all good. I'm just sitting at home, and you answer, you're done. Now they can always call you after like you broke your own rules, okay? Number 5, they understand the financials of their business, like Don said. Most real estate agents, and I can say this because I've made just about every mistake in the book, I've been through a lot, sold a lot of homes, is they don't understand the financials of their business. They don't know like what's bringing the money in. They don't know where their money is going, and they don't really operate like a business. And after this, I'm going to teach you guys how to think a little bit differently about being in the real estate profession. It's not just I'm a realtor, I'm going to sell houses. It's you have a business. It's almost like you have your store. So to understand the financials of your business, you need to have a budget from the beginning. You need to run a profit and loss statement, right? You need to run your financials, and this will help you with taxes. This will help you with qualifying to buy real estate, and this will manage your business wise. I would imagine, I don't have the stats on this, I bet you, honestly, this might be crazy for you new people, I bet you 95%, if not more, maybe more of your peers in real estate don't have any profit or loss or budget. Like it might even be more. I think I'm under. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. Like I coach a lot of agents. Like I've coached hundreds of agents. I've coached around the country. Like I know team leaders that have no idea what's going on with their business. I know team leaders that bring in gross $1 million a month, like a year, and they're taking home like 120K because they don't even know. I'm sure Don's seen that. There's a lot of like mega team leaders that they're grossing over $1 million, but their take home at the end of the day, like what they bring home at the end of the year is 150K maybe. So I would encourage you guys as you get into this and you start selling your first homes, track everything. Like how much did I spend on a client? Like put together a budget to spend on not just that client, but the services and how to take that client and turn it into many more. So number 6, the best of the best in your field, they're teaching nonstop. They're always teaching. And you might be thinking, well, why is this guy telling me to teach? I'm brand new, just got my license. You know who you can teach? Your clients. You can teach them. You know what's a lot more helpful than like complaining about interest rates on Instagram or like dancing around? Teach them. The best thing I can give you guys, advice. If I was a new agent and I wanted to create a content and you want to compete with me, I'm really hard to compete with on social media. You're welcome to follow me and copy me. I'm giving you permission. You can copy all my stuff. I'm really hard to compete with right now, but if I was a new agent, here's how you could compete with me. You could share your story in real time. So every week, what's your name? Iman. When you're learning something new, share your story and connect with your audience instead of just posting like, so you're probably going to learn something like, oh, here's a 2-1 buy down. Like, do you guys even know what that is yet? Probably not, too new. A rate buy down, a 2-1 buy down. So if I was a newer agent, I would really connect with my audience by sharing my journey in real time. Like, guys, I just got my license. This is what I learned this week. This is what I learned this week. And then bring them into your world instead of just copying what everybody else posts. Because most people on social media, they just copy stuff. They're just like, here's a home tour, here's the interest rates. But people want to help you. Believe it or not, there are good people in the world. Like, they want to help you. And if you're like, guys, I went to this class at Fidelity Title, and I learned how to get you a low interest rate and buy a house off market in 2024. If you want to know what I learned today and how you can win in today's market, DM me. There's video. You guys should probably film that video. I will teach you about that if we have time. But That's an example. Like, share your story in real time and bring the audience with you. Okay, does that resonate at all? Is that helpful? Okay, cool. Number 7, the best of the best in your field, if that's where you want to go, or even if you want to get a fraction of them, is they are executive athletes. They are not out drinking and carry on all the time. They treat their business like an athlete does. Anybody ever play sports? High school, college, anything like that? Any athletes at all? None? What did you play?
I played beach volleyball.
Awesome. Anybody else?
I just competed a lot, but not for specific sports.
Awesome. So, but we understand the concept of being a top athlete, right? We just watched NBA finals, right? You can get paid like a professional athlete, guys. Like I'm a golfer too, and the average professional golfer they barely make 6 figures, right? But they're spending 4 or 5 hours a day trying to get better. I wonder how much time real estate agents spend trying to get better at their craft. So an executive athlete means like you just got into this business, you're in this learning, you're like little babies exploring the world, and everything's brand new. And somewhere along the lines, like that baby, like infancy stage wears off. Maybe it's about a year in, year and a half in. And guess what happens? You think you know it all. And you stop going to classes. And you stop learning. And you're like, I think I got this. And then you start going to happy hours all the time. And then you get lazy. And then you start letting clients annoy you, right? Like you have to treat it like an executive athlete. I think it's the best thing that I'd recommend is taking care of your health first, making sure you are a healthy individual so you can serve your clients. I think that is one of the best things that nobody ever taught me when I got into the business. Nobody was like, dude, maybe you should make sure you're getting enough sleep, right? Maybe you should make sure you have a quality mattress at home. Maybe you should make sure your diet's on point. Maybe you should make sure you're spending at least a couple of hours a week working on your craft so you can be really, really good for your clients. Everybody's like, oh, you gotta bang the phones, you gotta do open houses, but it's really easy to get burnt out if you're not an executive athlete. So you newbies, you babies, remember that and it will help you. The last thing is they all have a value proposition. And a lot of these team leaders have very similar value propositions, but you know what's cool about them? There was about 100 team leaders who were interviewed. They all think they're the best. They're like, I'm the best, this is the best. And a lot of them they're offering the same thing, but they think they are the best. So you have to think that you are the best. And you have to know, yeah, right, you got the attitude right there. You have to know that you're the best. You have to have a value proposition. If you look at any of my social media, you're gonna see right away what the value propositions are that I have. And typically it's kind of a position against traditional real estate. It's kind of like, this is what traditional real estate is. If you want to take a walk over here down this path, you want to figure out a better way to do it, to buy and sell homes, then follow me, right? And I do think I'm the best. I absolutely am the best. I'm really hard to compete against, but I want you guys to be the best too. So as you get into your world, your value proposition can be anything from like, I know everything. So what Derek and I were doing earlier before this is I live in, do you guys know where McDowell Mountain Ranch is? North Scottsdale? It's really hot right now. We just spent 3 hours filming like everything in McDowell Mountain Ranch. So a value proposition could be if you were to live up there, like, dude, I might not have been doing this for 30 years, but I know everything about McDowell Mountain Ranch. I know every single street. I know every home. I know all the homes that are going to hit the market. Like I am the pro in this area. Or it could be, I'll show you how to get a lower interest rate in 2024 when rates are high. Or it could be, I'll show you how to buy a home off market. I'll show you how to sell a home off market. I'll show you how to sell your house cash, right? Like you have to have some sort of a unique value proposition. Does that make sense? Yeah, question?
Yeah, so how is it as a newbie to find the value propositions? Kind of like you're still learning and still
I know.
new.
Yeah.
What kind of tips?
So what I did is I piggybacked off a team. I joined a team and it was the best thing I could have ever done. It was so helpful for me. I joined a team and this was down in Tucson and it was the Marcy Willems group. She's still around, she's a big team. She's like, she runs ads in the paper and TV. I was on a 50-50 split and I was super happy because I had a mentor who was helping me and their value proposition was, if we can't sell your home, we'll buy it. I liked that. I thought that was cool. This was like forever ago. You know, I don't know, I was new. I was like just out of college. I don't have any money. I can't buy your house. I don't even know how to sell your house, but I'm gonna figure it out. So I joined a team and I got super lucky because the guy that was sitting next to me was a veteran. This guy was a veteran salesperson, and that guy, I just sat next to the office. Honestly, how I got good is I went to the office every day. I sat next to that dude, and I copied everything he did. I just listened. And he even told me when he hired me, he's like, I don't really think you have any potential. You're not really a salesperson. He was nice, but he's like, we'll give you a try, but I can't really figure you out. I don't know if you're going to be good at this. I don't know if you're a salesperson, but turns out he was wrong. He's actually one of my best friends, and I will always give him credit. He's one of my best mentors. But I joined a team. I got into a place where I could go get like mentorship every day and just listen to the conversations he was having. Like stuff that he said to buyers and sellers, I literally still say. Ways to negotiate price reductions, ways to convert internet leads, ways to communicate with your clients, ways to explain the market, the way I talk about what sells a home and what doesn't sell a home. It's still the exact same thing that I heard from him 12 years ago, just with my own taste on it. So I'm a big fan of teams, big fan of teams. They have taken me from, I feel like, and teams are not for everybody. There's a lot of people who crush it as solo agents. For me, I loved being on a team. It took me, I feel like it just 10x'd my career. And it gave me that unique value proposition. Does that make sense? Any other questions on that? Okay, cool. Move on to the next one. Okay, cool. So I'll tell you a little bit about what's worked for me. And these are some things that I think will work for you. And then I'll get into some specific business building tactics. Would you guys like to know how you can go out and get a deal like today? You should raise your hands. You guys want deals? Yeah? Well, then if you don't want that, then I'm not going to share it. Who wants it? All right, I'm going to share it with you.
Well, I'm not listed anyway, how can you sell?
Huh?
If you're not listed with a broker and getting deals, it's the first thing.
What about a buyer? You want to get a buyer today?
We still have to be able to work.
Shouldn't have a license.
Oh, you're not licensed. I don't care.
But that's taking-
Then after you get your brokerage, yeah, I want some enthusiasm. I want some excitement. You guys want to make some money? All right, well then let's go. Okay, cool. So system, schedule, and structure is really what you need. Like you need to have system, schedule, and structure. So what I have in front of you guys for my agent like launch plan is basically what's called an SOP. It's a standard operating procedure. So when you guys are working with clients, when you get your first buyer or seller, what you should have, either have a coach, a coaching program, a team leader, a Don. I'm sure Don could help you with this, not to put more work on you, but like
My team can help you with this.
have a step-by-step checklist on everything that you're gonna do for that client and know before you get into the transaction, right? So when you get your first buyer, you need to have a system like in place on paper and on your phone, on your CRM that's like, okay, cool, I got my client. This is every single thing that I need to do for the client, and you need to repeat it every single time until it's broken and it needs to get better, okay? So SOPs are the things that most real estate agents don't have. They're like, cool, I got a buyer, let's get you to the lender, let's get you pre-qualified, cool, look at houses, and they're just kind of winging it. Like, honestly, most of your competition really is winging it. If you can be super structured and just think, I want to make sure if you're my client and you're my client and you're my client, you guys all have the same experience. Because what happens if you have a great experience with me and then you refer me, and then what if some of the things I did for you I didn't do for you, and you guys talk? How does that make me look?
Yeah, bad.
Stupid, bad, lazy. That's what an SOP is. Do you guys see why that's really important? Because if you do your job and you get a referral and then somebody refers you to someone else and then you, like what if I got you a cool closing gift, or maybe I just did something that you remember. I wrote you a thank you card, right? Little things like people remember. I wrote you a thank you card when you got under contract and I didn't do that for you. What if I accidentally forgot to order your closing gift and you guys talk? Then you're like, what, does Alex like hate me? Was I a bad client? Why didn't I get this? No, I'm serious. This happens all the time. So you need to have a standard operating procedure for two things. Number one, how are you gonna handle your clients, like the buyers and sellers? And number two, how are you gonna handle yourself during what's your SOP for your day? Like I have certain days and times that are themed out, things I do on certain days and times. So real estate's the wild, wild west, guys. It's so wacky. It's so all over the place. Most people really are running around like chickens with their heads cut off. They just don't have any structure. I mean, it's just true. People are running around like crazy. So I think it was really important for me to emphasize an SOP because when you get your first client, you want to do such a good job that they start to be a referral for you and they're in your little referral tree, and then you grow your business. So as we go through this, I'll kind of highlight some of the things that I've done to grow my business. So when I started, I learned I had no money. I literally had no money. I couldn't even afford cable or internet at home. I walked to a coffee shop at night so I could use Wi-Fi. That's literally where I was at. But I was on a team and I got given internet leads, and I just smashed these internet leads. But the cool thing about these leads was I built a connection with them. I added them on Facebook, added them on Instagram, and I treated them as if they were like my friend, and I got them into my lifetime nurture process. So early on, I got business from open houses, cold calling, and then internet leads. And I'm bringing this up for a reason, is the business that I got early on, I was fortunate enough to be coached on how to nurture it. Because after about 2 to 4 years, those people started referring me and also being repeat clients. Like, there are some of your first time buyers who will buy a home and then 3 months later they'll sell, they'll buy. So having an SOP on how to stay in front of your clients is really, really helpful too in the beginning. That was one of the things that helped me a lot. I noticed about year 3 was, the first year I sold 42 homes. Year 3, I think I had 62. And I was like, God, a lot of these are like referrals and repeat clients. But the first 2 years, it was so hard. It was hard. I was out there grinding. I was holding open houses 7 days a week. I was cold calling. I was really, really hustling. But what oftentimes people do, and I wasn't perfect at this, I'm sure I let a lot of people slip through the cracks, is those transactions that I closed, they stayed in my world. The easiest way was especially connect with them on social media, like add them, get them in a private group, things like that. Calendar, do you guys all use your calendar, like really use your calendar? I trust you. Does everybody use their calendar? Like if I'm like, show me your calendar, I should see exactly what you're doing all day? You two are super confident. Not everybody is.
I did, when I started working at Fidelity, I did not live by a calendar, and I couldn't imagine 10 years later, I couldn't imagine not having, like, oh, we got plans on July 16th, cool, I got it right here, and no worries. Now forget it. It's
He'd be super mad at me if I didn't.
3 o'clock in the afternoon, I don't know, without my calendar, I don't know where to be. I just go wherever my calendar tells me.
Yeah. So guys, calendars is, I mean, Derek, and we're doing content. Content's super important for me, but calendar is really important to live and die by. Like, start getting the habit of putting everything in there. One of the things that I do is I put my personal life time, my gym time, like all of the things that I need to put in my life, I put in my calendar. It's okay to schedule personal life, gym time, family time, kiddos, yoga, golf, whatever it is. So calendar, I've noticed, seems to be a struggle for newer agents. Like, these are the things that the new agents that I coach a lot of them. If they do these things right there, boy, they crush it right away. And I'd say it's about 25% of them follow our coaching, and 75% of them kind of like linger around and they do a little bit. Calendar seems to be a struggle. I'm not sure why. But a good rule of thumb is if you look at your calendar and like, what's on my day, 75% of your calendar should be what I would call green time. Green time is like bringing in new business. What could you do to bring in new business? You could be creating content, holding open houses, door knocking, cold calling, messaging people on social media. Most of your day should be consumed with green time. Only a fraction of it should be red time. Red time is working on files, sending out emails, managing inspections and things like that. Again, when you're a new agent and you get your first transaction, you guys are gonna feel this, you're gonna remember hopefully, and you're like, oh man, I've spent like 5 hours on this freaking inspection report, right? Make sure when you're managing your calendar, you put important stuff in there, but you also should be able to see that most of your time is dedicated to bringing in new business. Green time, yeah, green time, green and red. Does that make sense, guys? I was guilty of it. I don't know, I didn't use a calendar for like 5 years probably. I'm telling you, I just got away on like being super personable, tiny bit of charisma, not much at that time. I was really not good on the phones, a lot more shy back then. I don't know how I got away with it, but like I was so unorganized and I was still selling 40 to 60 homes a year. I was so unorganized, it's actually embarrassing. I couldn't show you my budget, my P&L, anything, because I never had this. Nobody in the beginning was like, hey, maybe you should like treat this like a real business. I was totally winging it. So don't wing it. Question?
I guess just a little bit, does the percentage change obviously over time? Because you
Oh, for sure. I used to be the worst with like, yeah, the percentage change. I would take so long, and I would notice a habit that I did and a lot of people do is it's not very fun to give bad news, is it? When a deal falls through, when they reject your offer. I would spend way too much time like sitting around like, oh my God, I gotta call my clients, give them the bad news. I'd spend way too much time. So yeah, the percentage has changed a lot. For me, it's easy. It's way more than 75-25. Now I'm probably like 90-10. Like 90% of my day is bringing in new business, creating content, calling, doing open houses. Oh yeah, 75-25 is a good ratio, but yeah, I was so bad. I would waste so much time, and you guys will feel that. You get into your, I have transactions going on right now with my team, all of my newer agents. I work the transactions with them. Like I'm still very much in production, so I see it. Like it happens always in the first one. They're already wasting hours worrying about an inspection that hasn't even happened yet. They haven't even got the report. I'm like, dude, what have you been doing the last 3 hours? Well, I don't know. I've just been wondering, when do I call Vicky about the inspection? I'm like, the inspection is tomorrow. Like, go get a new deal, right? So just try and remember that as best you can. 5 by 5 by 5. You probably know this. No?
5 calls, 5 times.
Close.
All right.
Okay, this is a really cool way. This is a system, super easy to replicate. If any of you guys want a spreadsheet for this, I can give it to you. 5 by 5 by 5 is an awesome way to make sure every day of your career is productive, even if you feel like crap that day. Because here's another thing. You're not always going to feel very good. Sometimes you'll feel great, sometimes you won't. 5 by 5 by 5 is a good way. It's a rhythm. It's a cadence of communication on how you can go generate new deals and talk to clients. So you take a database. The first thing that you guys should do when you get into real estate, has anybody talked to you about building a database yet? I hope so. Yeah, kind of. Okay, cool. Well, then we're going to make a little hard pivot here for a second. Okay, one of the things that I force people to do is as soon as you get your license, you need to create a database, like all the people. You guys know you can extract everybody that's in your cell phone. Do you guys know you can do that? You all have iPhones, smartphones. So what you need to start with is a database of people, your friends, your doctor, your CPA, your financial advisor, and just extract them and put them into what's called a CRM or a spreadsheet. So I need you guys to have at least 30 people to start to do 5 by 5, okay? And you can find more people to add to it. So 5 by 5 is you're gonna take people in segments. For the first month, you're gonna take 5 people every single day, okay? If you're taking notes, for the first month, every day, for 5 people, you're gonna have 5 conversations on the phone for 5 minutes. 5 people a day. That's it. Pretty simple, right? Okay. So you're gonna get through your 30 people on your first month. The next month, month number 2, you're gonna call a new group of people, 5 people every day for 5 minutes. Okay, are you with me so far? But what about that first group? You guys remember the first group we called on month 1? You're gonna text all of them. Every day you're gonna make your 5 phone calls, and you're gonna make 5 texts a day. So now in month 2, you should have 5 texts a day, 5 calls a day. You guys think you can do that? Can you make 5 texts and 5 calls? I think so. Okay, and then month 3, you're gonna take that first group that you called at the beginning, bless you, the first group that you started with, that you called them, okay? You called them on the first month, you called them on January. So Don, hey, how was your New Year's? This is a real world example of 5 by 5. Hey Don, Happy New Year, how was it? Great, oh, you went to Aspen, cool, because you're the man, awesome, great. Month 2, hey Don, was just thinking of you, I hope you have a happy Valentine's Day with you and the lady, have an awesome day. Month 3, I'm gonna touch him on social media. I'm gonna either DM him or like comment on one of his pages on Facebook or Instagram. Month 2, I'm gonna text the previous group, and then the first group, I'm gonna call them. So it's a series of 30, 30, 30. Does that make sense? I have like a detailed spreadsheet, you guys can do this, but the idea is every day you should be calling, texting, and hitting up people on social media and having conversations. But what I didn't say is, hey Don, do you wanna buy a house, sell a house? I literally never do that. I never do that. I will ask for referrals when I'm in a transaction or I've closed a transaction, but when I'm just talking to people, I just want to talk to them and get to know them. Make sense? Okay. After month 3, we go back to the group 1. Then on month 4, on month 3, he's got his social media. On month 4, I call him. So I've called all of my sphere at least 4 times a year. So Don's gotten 4 calls from me a year, 4 texts from me, and 4 social media touches. So I've at least hit him up once a month in a very, he probably doesn't see the pattern at all because he's just a normal, not a crazy realtor like us, but I've just given you guys a very free, easy way to touch all of your people once a month, easily.
You know what's funny is the pushback we typically get on these things when we're coaching people around these kind of systems is like, oh, but it's a script. Oh, it's what people don't know that. Like, you know, or like even like when we create graphics for you in social media, like, oh, is it different than everybody else's? Well, not everybody else has 300 real estate agents on their Facebook page, right? So you're not seeing all, you know, your normal people in the world that aren't in the real estate business don't have, in my case, 2,500 real estate agents on their Facebook page. So do I see when you and you all post the same thing? Yeah, I do. But I'm not who you're going after, you know? So, you know, when you're building the relationship with your barber, with the lawn guy, with, you know, whoever else is in your network, those are different.
Yeah, absolutely. So 5 by 5 by 5, it's a good reminder to do that. The best way that I've found to generate business for new agents, I'm just gonna get straight to the point. Do you wanna make money? Open houses are now business. If you were to look at like a funnel that draws things in, open houses are the best way to get out there, but you need to have a script. You need to we practice open house role play every single Monday in person. We practice on what we're gonna say and what we're gonna do. So the things that are working best for my new agents who, average agent gets their first deal about 45 to 60 days in, is 5 open houses a week minimum. I don't care if it's hot, get out there. I don't care if it's summer. I did it. You know what I did? I'd bring, because I only wore stuff like that. I still dress up for work, which is important. I'm going to touch on that actually. Remind me to touch on dress code for work. It's super important. When I was doing my open houses in Tucson, I'm sure Jill's done a lot of hot events in the summer. I usually had to bring 2 or 3 shirts with me because I had 1 shirt on to set up my signs and then another one to get going, and I might have gotten hot halfway through. I'd switch my shirts. Like, you just get out there and do it. So 5 open houses a week, 60 conversations a week are the minimum. If you guys are taking notes, I would probably write this down. If you want to win and you want to go sell houses when you get your license, 5 open houses a week, 60 conversations around real estate every single week. Not like call Jill and she didn't pick up. Well, that's a phone call. No, it should be like, hey, what's up, Jill? How are you? Hey, by the way, is anybody taking time to tell you about how buyers in today's market are getting rates below 4%? You guys know? Probably not. I can help you out. Assumable loans, one of the ways. Yeah, so 5 open houses a week, 60 conversations, 7 videos posted a week. Social media is what it is. When I started, social media didn't matter. I don't think I had Instagram at the beginning. Social media, for my first 5 years, I sold 0 from social media. So the stuff I'm teaching you works, but I'm going to sprinkle in the stuff that I do now. Is social media, the best part about social media is you can instantly become the expert out there. It's good and bad. I like it, but I don't. It's frustrating because there are some stuff, there's fake it till you make it, but the cool thing is if you can find your own niche, you can create individual organic content. What I tell my agents to do is, and Derek coaches our team, he's our in-house social media coach, marketing manager, is if you're gonna get into this game, people need to know you, right? You wouldn't go like, does everybody have social media? Instagram, Facebook, right? What happens when you see a cool video about a new restaurant? Have you ever seen anything on your social media with like a restaurant that looked cool or place to go? Did it make you feel interested in going? Yeah, so why are we not doing that with social media? But what doesn't work, and I think I heard a little bit of it earlier, I'm gonna back her up. I think I heard her saying something like just listed and just sold doesn't work. Was she saying that? Yeah?
She wasn't saying it didn't work. She was saying that a lot of people do it and it's not really real. It's an illusion.
Well, A, it's an illusion, and B, if I catch people on my team, like all they're posting is like just closed, I literally am like, you're off leads for a while. Because no, it's that important to me. Like I close a minimum I close 2 deals a month from Instagram alone, minimum. I make 6 figures just from Instagram. I don't think you've probably ever seen me post just listed or just sold.
Never.
What I will post is a story. I'll share, hey guys, we're about to close on this amazing new construction home here in Moon Valley with amazing views. And this was our client, Cooper. I just made a video. And what I will do is, instead of being like, look at me, look at the house I sold, I'm like, let me tell you about my client. Let me tell you what we did. Let me tell you about his problem. And here's how we solved it. And if that resonates with you, I can help you too. That is the kind of videos I'm talking about. I'm telling you that will work. Question?
So you do that with talking, or you do that typing?
You could do either or. I'm always talking in mine. If you're typing, I think that's going to be a lot better. Like, you need to do case studies. Like, think of, if you're going to show off your evidence of success in this game, think of it as a case study, not just, oh my gosh, look at me. Like, nobody cares. They just don't care. But what you're trying to do with these posts, you guys want to bring in new business or like float your ego? Probably new business, right? Because there's two different ways to post in social media. Number one is to get likes and for your own ego, like, oh my God, look at this house I posted. Or for me, I don't really care. I want to get new business. So all of my content is designed to resonate with you in some way, shape, or form. It's designed to hook you in. Like, I just posted a closed video a couple days ago. Instead of being like, just closed, new construction home, I introduced the fact that it was a new home. I said my client's name. I said I met with him, I analyzed his goals, I brought him a solution, and I got him a deal that nobody else got in the entire neighborhood. If that sounds like something that you want to do, hit me up, right? That's, when I'm talking about videos, those are the things that will help you win. Question? I can do hours on social media because I'm humble, but I will say confidently, I don't think there's a lot of people better than me on social media right now, only because the effort and time I put into it. I put a lot of effort and time to it. All of my content is original. You will never see things like the same as other people. You guys, by the way, are welcome to copy anything I post, with my permission. Question?
Yeah, so, like you said, there's a standard procedure, operating procedure for every, listing or every deal. So would that mean that you have to do a story for every deal you post? Because when someone says, oh, we can do a story on me or anything like that, is that ever for you to think?
That is a really good question. Did you guys hear that question? That was a really good question. So if you didn't, the question is, do you have to do the same reel for every deal you close? No, I don't. I think that we try to, but some of them we can, some of them we can't. We try and do most of them as best we can, and we'll mix them up. Sometimes we'll do like testimonials. Sometimes we'll do a highlight of the house. At the very least, at the very minimum, I'll make it a case study. Like, if I can't find time to sit down with them, or we can't do like an actual testimonial video, what we've done is case studies. Here's another cool thing that you guys can do. This is a really cool video that I don't see people doing. When you close your first house, if you're like, I'm scared to be on camera, you're probably not. So I'm not picking on you, but you can do a video recording where you can pull up the MLS closed, show your name, and be like, guys, let me show you a case study why, if you've ever thought about buying or selling a home in Arizona, you need to watch this case study. And then break down and show them what you did. Like, talk about it step by step, right? That's another good one that I've done. So I'll do that especially with expired. I'll show that it expired in MLS here, then I took it over, then I sold it. Here's the 20 steps that I did. If you tried to sell your home but you failed, I can do the same for you. Does that kind of make sense?
And as you guys get into this is an area where, like, we talk about making sure you're going to have everybody's contact information, and Alex is a great coach around this. Our team can help you with these things as well, as far as resources and tools. Jen was sitting over there. We traded her out for Jill now, so we've got Jill in the very back who's with our team.
Yeah.
You guys are going to meet a lot of people through with our team over these next few days, but we have great resources and tools, and we learn from Alex too. And
back and forth.
And so it's great. Some of your clients aren't going to want people are weird about social media. You're not going to get to be weird about social media. You have to be all over it if you're going to be successful in this business.
True.
But some of your clients don't have to be, and they might not be comfortable with their information being put out there, which could change our standard operating procedures as well, right? So with them, they might not want their information, they might not want their house, they might not want. Well, it's all public information, one way or another. But we don't want to make them uncomfortable, so we're going to whatever their wishes are, we're going to be considerate of that.
Yeah, but Don said something really cool. Do any of you hate social media? Are you annoyed at it? Do you hate it?
You're gonna have to love it.
It's okay. Like, honestly, I ask people straight up, people are like, you must love social media. I don't love social media. It's exhausting. I just spent 3 hours with Derek in the heat outside filming. Do I want to do that? Not really. It sucks. It's hard. Like, it's exhausting. I put a lot of effort to it. Do I like what it does for me? Do I like the fact that I can be out on the weekend with my family and get random emails and DMs of, hey, I have a house 1.9 in Gilbert. I'd love to interview you to sell my home. Yeah, I like it. So Don said if you hate social media or are comfortable with it, you kind of have to suck it up and embrace it and just do it. I wish I had a better answer, but I don't. Like he said it best. You're going to just have to do it. I wish somebody would give me this advice earlier on too, is don't feel pressure to have to like post everything that everybody else does. Like there is a lot of imposter syndrome and like, oh my gosh, this guy's posting listings every day. The truth is he's probably sold like 3 houses this year. Like I see that stuff all the time. So don't get down on yourself. Don't feel intimidated. Don't feel like, oh my gosh, I'm sucking because I keep seeing this agent who said he's a year in, he's posted like 17 houses. A lot of it ain't real. It's just not. Stick to yourself, stay in motion, post what you're gonna do, and you'll be just fine. Like just ignore a lot of the noise. So back to what works, what will get you now business, guys. 5 open houses a week, 60 conversations about real estate. These are phone calls, 7 videos a week, 10 direct mail pieces a day. I know some people who could probably help you with direct mail right here. So that would be 300 letters sent out a month. If you wanted to pay for them to do that, I would bet they would probably cost you about $300 a month, give or take. But direct mail works. Direct mail works really, really good. But usually for me, it works if I write my own content, believe it or not. You know what works for me to get deals is I don't really send just listed, just sold, like basic stuff. Those tools are great. I'm not saying don't do it. I just want to share what works for me. I will send out letters every single day. I'll print them out and I'll send them to specific people. I know who the seller is. I know how much they owe on their house. I know how old they are. I will print them out and then I'll handwrite it and I'll send it out. So direct mail is a really, really good way to generate business as well. Have you guys ever thought about doing any direct mail farming areas? So do you guys know what farming is? Some of you? Yes, no, maybe, kind of? Okay, cool. Let's talk about farming. There's a lot of different ways we can do farming, but these two, Jill and Dawn, are awesome. Farming means, what part of town do you live in?
Peoria.
Peoria? Cool. Peoria is awesome. There's a lot of great neighborhoods. So farming means that you're going to pick an area in Peoria. Maybe it's your neighborhood, maybe it's a zip code, maybe it's 500 homes, depending on your budget. You're going to make sure everybody and their mom knows who you are there, right? So you're going to pick a set of people to mail to every single month. Ideally, you want to not just mail them, but you want them to see you where else? Social media, YouTube, in the community doing open houses, in the community doing events, right? Farming is not just mailing. Farming means, what was your name again? Patrick. Farming means, Patrick, if I go to your neighborhood, I should know who you are, right? If you want to sell, do you want to stay in Peoria? Then they should know who you are, okay? So farming means that you want to be sending out marketing pieces, both direct mail. I would think of it like 3 different layers. Number 1 is direct mail, which Don and Jill can help you. If you're like, I don't know what he means direct mail, they'll help you. Number 2, they need to see you in person. They need to see you at events, they need to see you at open houses. And number 3, they need to see you online. But if they see you online and they can't get a hold of you, or it doesn't really look like you're that reputable, that's gonna hurt you, right? I'm gonna show you guys how to be reputable online, okay? We can go to the next one. Did I go too fast? I'm trying to cram a lot into an hour, but is this helpful for you guys so far? Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So, social proof. So, Patrick, if I see your flyer and I'm like, this was cool. This guy looks, I think I might call him. And if I Google you or I stalk you on social media, but your Instagram is private, I can't find your phone number, can't find your email address, can't find a website for you, it's gonna look a little sketch. Would you guys agree? What if you think about it, what if you got a flyer for a restaurant, like a local town, where do you live?
Biltmore.
Biltmore, new whatever, taco spot, comes in Biltmore, and you get a flyer in your mail, this looks cool. And maybe you decide to Google it. and you're like, I can't find a website for it. I can't find them on social media. I barely find their phone number. Might you be a little bit hesitant going there? Why don't you guys do that with your real estate business? I'm not saying you, but agents do that all the time. So we're going to go through some rules on your personal brand, leveraging case studies, how to create solution-oriented content so you can generate more business, and how to have a professional and a personal blend for your brand. Okay? So think of it this way. You guys all own a business now. It's like a store. It's like Fidelity. It's like Apple. It's like you actually have a storefront. I know it doesn't feel that way, but you have a storefront. Everybody Googles everything now. I don't care what you say, but we have Yelp. Everybody Googles everything now. So as you get into your business, you join a brokerage, you join a team, the first things first is you need to Google your own name. Has anybody ever done that? Yes. Okay, cool. Make sure there's nothing bad on there. No college party drinking pics. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, a lot of people, I'm like, you've never Googled your own name? Oh, maybe like years ago. I'm like, Google it. Check it out. Okay? So Google your name and then develop. You need to do this. I'm going to give you a set if you're taking notes. Here's how you build your own online store. Number one, set up your Google business page. Okay? Google business page. Because I want to make sure, and then get reviews. Ask me. I'll give you a 5-star review. I can give you a review. You want a review? I'll give you a review. Ask me, I'll give you a 5-star review. So,
How much does the Google business page cost?
0.
Yeah, take advantage of this stuff. This is where everybody's finding all the people.
It's free. Google my business page. Free. Set up your Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Get unprivate if you have private profiles. Clean up your social media. Make it look clean and organized. Okay? Make sure your name is your name. I had to change my name years ago. Make sure it's Patrick, what's your last name?
Preston.
Patrick Preston. There's your social media name. That's it. That's all you need.
So I guess I have a question about that because I've been thinking about social media. How do you separate the professional from the personal? Do you open up
Don't.
a separate account? You want
Don't
to
do it.
see all the aspects?
Great question. Don't. Keep it all on one platform.
Okay.
That I promise you, don't separate it. Trust me. You will find some like social media coaches and stuff like, oh, you need to build. Don't do it. Keep them all in the same place because they want a blend of professional and personal. And I'm telling you this because I'm speaking from somebody who I do walk the walk. I sell homes from social media. I'm not a marketing person who's here to tell you what maybe works. This actually works. And I'm really, really glad you asked that. It's a great question. Don't even worry about like a realtor Instagram. It's a waste of time. Derek, is it not a waste of time? He does that. This is what his job is. His job is to make me famous and get big on social media. That's what his job is. Derek's been doing this for 10 years. So it's a great question. Do you guys understand that question?
Yes.
So
there was a time where people were doing that and trying to keep it separate. They had the business pages that they were keeping, all the way the algorithms have changed, it's really not helpful for you to do that. And, so just make sure you have some control. So your party friends, my buddy's back in Chicago, I've got things so they can't post anything to my Facebook without me approving it.
that's a good idea, yeah.
And, so you can set all those controls that nobody can put anything on there without you giving an approval. And that's your best safeguard in those areas.
Yeah, but and the reason I want you to make it connected is I want them to know you as a person. Like you guys are your average lead is connected to how many realtors on social media do you think? What's the number? Just give me a guess. If you meet somebody at an open house, on average, how many realtors are they connected to on social media? What do you think? 1, 4, 5, dozen, 9. 9 of y'all running around there out there. Okay? So what's going to make me hire Patrick? It's not just listed. It's not just sold. I want to know you're professional. I want you to teach me something. I want you to have a value proposition. And I want to know who you are. I want to know what your hobbies are. I want to know that you're a cool dude. I want to get to know you. That is what people will follow you. They'll start watching your stories. They'll get to know you. That is what works. Does that make sense? That's a really, really good question. So guys, you have to have a personal brand. You have to be clear on who you are and what you stand for. I'm going to give a really good example of a friend of mine who couldn't have more of an opposite brand of me, but we are good friends. We speak sometimes together at events. Have you guys ever seen The Tattooed Realtor? Yeah? Justin Mercer. He's actually really quiet and kind of like soft-spoken, like very, not what you would think. He's very quiet and soft-spoken. Have you ever seen him? His whole face is tatted. Justin is tatted head to toe. He's the tattooed realtor. And I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw it, I was like, that's stupid. Who would ever hire this guy? He's got tattoos on his face. That's ugly, oh my God. He has a personal brand and he does pretty well. Justin does great. He has billboards. His content is really entertaining. It's him. You either like him or you don't. But guess what? He has fans, he has people, and I love Justin for that. So the point of a personal brand is be yourself. People know me for a lot of golf. I'm a golfer. I golf for a golf. Like I embrace the things. I'm not afraid to show when I'm out golfing and being myself. But that's another reason why I want you to have the personal and professional thing. So get an idea of your personal brand and what the story is that you want to tell to people and who you want to be. And don't be afraid to be yourself. If you have some weird quirkiness to you or weird hobby, because you're all weird, we're all weird, like let them see it, okay? And if you've never seen the Tattooed Realtor, just go look at his page. You might be like, who would hire this guy? Like imagine walking to an open house. This guy's face is tatted. But he does well, and he really lines up with a niche community, and they love him. And I think Justin's a nice guy, and I think he crushed it at marketing. The guy came out of nowhere with no prior experience. He put it all on the line. He threw all of his money into real estate. Guy got billboards. Guy went all in on his brand, took a huge risk, and he does well, okay? So you...
4 or 5 years, I think.
Yeah.
But like your first time you hang out with him a little bit, you just got to spend some time reading.
Yeah.
Like he's just got, like they're just everywhere, but super nice guy.
He's really quiet and like not scary at all. He's actually very soft-spoken. So build a personal brand. Number 2 is as you start to get into your business, every time you guys close a transaction, I want you to think of 2 things, okay? Number 1, it should be a case study. Even if you don't make a video, like document it on everything that you close, what went well, what went bad, what could be better, okay? I would imagine how many realtors do that?
Not many.
0, maybe like 0.1%. I'm telling you, just go through it. Like do it like, again, that goes back to being an executive athlete. Like just take time. When you close your first deal, take some time, get out your notebook for 30 minutes, be like, how did I find this client? How well did I communicate with them? You know, how much do I think they're going to refer me? What could I have done better? What did I do really well? What were the moments where they're like, what were their happiest moments, right? And what were the moments where there's some clunkiness, okay? Everything should be a case study, okay? Number 2, does anybody like cars? Love cars. What's your favorite car brand? Do you have a car or car brand? Audi? Okay, cool. Then you will probably, hopefully you'll probably never forget this because I made the same mistake. You know what I did? I eventually got my business to an R8, okay? I'm just gonna use R8. And it was cool. It was driving pretty fast, closing 40, 50, 60 deals a year, flying. But then what happened? I went a few years and I never changed the model. Still driving that same model. Here's what I mean. When you close your first transaction, okay, the next one should be better. Every transaction you close, the next one should be better. Real estate agents go their entire career driving the same clunky model because they thought they figured it out. And what's in my mind is every single deal I close, the next one has to be better. Somehow, a better model. So start thinking about that. And I know this is all a lot. You're like, dude, I've never closed a transaction. But I'm telling you this because I'm not joking. My R8, whatever it was, I sold hundreds of, probably any in the neighborhood of 250 to 300 homes doing the same exact thing. Good. Not amazing. Probably like a 7 out of 10. Good enough to be like a top realtor and like, yeah, you did a good job, man. It was cool. Of course we'll refer you, but not like, that was so good. That was so good. That was such good service. Does that resonate with you? That's what you guys should do with your business for sure. And I like the car analogy because car companies don't operate that. Once they get a hit model, they're not just like, okay, it's 2025. Here's another one. We know you like it. They add on something. They make it better. That's what you should be doing to your business. Either taking things away, adding them, getting new partners. Are we all done?
Yeah. Well,
That was fast.
I know, it goes fast.
Dang.
Yeah, you're the home buyer right now, so
Okay,
so
cool.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, no,
Guys, sorry, I didn't know I went over. Was that helpful for you at all?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Did you guys get some good takeaways? Cool. You can connect me on social media if you want to chat more. Those are the 5 things that you need really quick. You have to be remarkably bold. You really have to need intrinsic motivation, great connection skills, grit and resilience, and the ability to lock in. That's it. So thank you guys. Sorry I went over. That was fast. Sorry.
Oh, no worries, no worries.
Yeah.
I know